wants Tom Brady, right? I'm curious how your offensive line, do those guys take that personal? Do they respond to that? And will Brady give that any mind at all?
I'm a coach now, so I don't really look at those things. Those are things that players do every week. Those type of things happen. I think it's great because it's the energy. Everyone's excited to be in the playoffs. It is what it is. I don't really put too much thought in it now that I'm a coach because the game got to get played Saturday night. So we're just trying to prepare, do what we need to do to get ready to play a good football team Saturday night.
And you've struggled at times against some heavy pass rush teams, whether that was the Bears, the Saints, the Rams. So how do you counter a team that has that sort of pressure with just the front four?
Well, you play football, you try to put yourself in the best position possible. I don't think we struggled as much as people may say, but we just got to get prepared, man. We got to get prepared for a good football team. None of that stuff really matters. I got to put these guys in position to do the things that they need to do to give ourselves an opportunity to win the football game. So we'll have a tough opponent, obviously, but we'll try to prepare this week, get ourselves ready to roll, be ready to roll Saturday night.
Thanks, Byron.
We'll go over to Greg Allman.
Hey, Byron, this Washington defensive front, I want to ask you if there's one team you guys have faced this year that they most closely resemble, I'd be curious who that is and how you guys have changed as an offense since that game.
Well, anytime it's hard to find five first-round picks up front, right? It's really hard to really find that across the league. But like I tell you guys all the time, the guys that are so good are the guys that got their hand in the ground. They give you the toughest job week in and week out. The athletes that put their hand in the ground and whose job is to come get the quarterback, they're getting more special each year past. So it's tougher and tougher week in and year out, week in and week out, especially with different opponents you play. Everybody has good football players, especially up front in the defensive line, no matter who you play. So each week in and week out, you're facing tough opponents, tough competitors, guys that know how to get to the quarterback. We just got to do the things we need to do to make sure we're doing our job.
Thanks, Byron.
Thank you.
We'll go to Jenna Lane.
Hey, Byron, you told us very recently that you were concerned because Tom wasn't eating. You never saw the guy eat. All he does is work. And so I'm just wondering, especially now that we're getting to see post-Tom, what have you seen out of him? Has the intensity risen even more? And what's it like kind of, being in the preparation stages of putting together a plan for a playoff game with that guy?
Well, really, it's the same as any other week, to be honest with you. We try to play our best and give our best effort week in and week out. It shouldn't take the playoffs to get extra energy, to get anything extra. I think we did a good job all year of doing that week in and week out. Sometimes we wasn't successful, but we did a great job of coming in the next week, working the same way, still putting a lot of energy and effort in our work and our preparation. And that's our mindset. It's all about preparation for us right now, getting ourselves ready to roll for Saturday night.
And as far as Antonio Brown, I know it kind of takes a guy sometimes, especially one that has been out of football. It takes them a few weeks to get their legs underneath them and everything. I don't know if maybe this is just my vantage point, but it just seems like his route running, his ability to kind of stop and go and for lack of a better term, kind of put defenders on skates. It seemed like you're starting to see that more and more lately. What have you seen out of him? And also, how have you kind of been able to grow more and more with him as he becomes more of an important part of this offense?
Well, we knew it would take some time. I think he came in here in great shape, to be honest with you. He got here in great shape. I knew it'd be a couple weeks for him to stick his foot in the ground and be moving the way that he wanted to move, especially just learning a few things here and there. Now I think he just has an awareness and an understanding of where he need to be, what's going on, and how he can get the ball in his hands from a route standpoint and what he need to do to get open. So I just think he's been himself. This is all I ever know of him. He's always had this energy. He's always been able to stick his foot in the ground, get open, do those type of things that great wide receivers do. He's always had that capability. Even when he first walked through the door, day one, he walked in with those attributes, and now he's just fine-tuning it while being in better shape. You got to think it was a year and some change, I believe, that he was off the football field. So what he's come in and do has really been amazing from a standpoint. The way he works is not a surprise to us of how he got to where he's at right now.
We'll go to James Palmer.
Byron, I know you and Bruce, and I asked him this, and Tom and everyone has said that, this was going to be growing pains throughout the year as an offense, and we were going to finally get to it. But with no offseason and so much pressure in it, was there ever a thought that you would maybe run out of time, you know what I mean, to get it to where you wanted to get it with all of the constrictions of the offseason stuff, that maybe you wouldn't get to where you wanted to get to before the end of the regular season?
No, the key for us was just to win games during the process. I mean, this league is about winning. Don't be fooled. It's a lot of guys. I mean, week in and week out, there'll be different storylines. But we understand being in this game, as long as we've been in it, playing, coaching in it, it's about winning football games. And all we were doing, we knew we was a work in progress. We still is, but we wanted to win football games while we're going through that process. And I think we could have done a better job than what we done, but I think we did enough to get to the tournament. It's all about getting to the tournament. At this point, nothing matters. Now it's going out and trying to do what you can to win a football game.
And being in the tournament and everything you guys have done to get there, do you feel like this is the most comfortable you are as a play caller in terms of the feel you have for this offense and Tom running it now?
I mean, I think it took early in the year. I think we had some early success, and then we had moments where we had to learn from in-game situations. And I think we learned together collectively. I think I know Tom now, and I think I got a good idea of how he thinks and how he sees every concept that we're running now. So it wasn't just me or the players. It was just us being out there enough, especially with not having no offseason, everybody being pretty much new, just getting to the right places, us having an understanding of what we need to do to have consistent success. We had success throughout the year, but we had laws throughout the season where we probably didn't play as well, but we did what we need to do to win the football games.
Thanks, Byron.
Thank you.
We'll go over to Joey Knight.
Byron, picking up what Jenna asked, I'm sure Antonio's head was swimming when he first got here. Is he so up to speed on the playbook now that you feel comfortable putting him at any receiver spot?
We can put him wherever we need to put him. It wasn't new. It wasn't all new to him. It was just different. Just like, I don't know what verbiage or what he was like, what it's been. He was just out of football really for a year and a half. So that's what it really comes down to. I was able to communicate with him because I can talk our language. I can talk the language that I talked to him when he first came in this league, because it's all about getting him in position, giving him awareness to where he need to be and what we're thinking from a conceptual standpoint and what we're trying to get accomplished on each play. So it was just a matter of just getting these plays, getting him in and out of huddle, getting him reps in practice to make sure we can get him in the right spots.
And I know you're laser focused on the task at hand, but there are many reports that you are considered the dream candidate at your alma mater. Is that a job you would entertain?
I am worried about this game. I don't even know how to answer that question. I just heard about that myself too, though. So I'll just say that. This time of year where all these things, tend to happen. And we're worried about this football game Saturday night.
Thanks, Byron.
All right, we have time for a handful more. We're going to go over to Ben Volen.
Hey, Byron. Greetings from Boston. I have a question for you about Rob Gronkowski. What have you liked about his personality? What have you liked about coaching him this year? And just what has he brought to the team on the field? He's played in all 16 games. He's caught 7 touchdowns. What has he brought to the offense?
Man, I tell people all the time, everybody I meet that asks me questions about it, I tell them, I wish I can see the world the way that he sees it. I don't think he's ever had a bad day. Like, to be honest with you, I mean, it's an amazing thing to see the world the way that he sees the world. He's smiling all the time. He's having fun all the time. Gronkitis, that's what we call him, Gronkitis. But he has fun, man. He has fun. He loves the game of football. The work that he puts in is real, is serious. But it's just amazing the way he see the world, not just the way he see football. I wish I could see the world the way that Gronk see the world, because that's a refreshing way to be, and that's a refreshing way to live your life to a day-to-day basis.
That's great. Thanks.
Thank you.
We'll close out one from Rick Stroud.
Byron, you were a quarterback in playoff games, and there's not a better one that's ever lived than Tom Brady. But what's different about it in that position when you get to the postseason, if anything?
Just everything matters, right? Everything matters. I think every quarterback in the playoffs this year, they understand everything matters. Every little play matters. Every little second, every little inch matters. This is good on good football now. So, this is really good on good football. So you got to do the things you need to do to play your best. And it takes a focus. It takes a work ethic. It takes a lot of different things, right, to be in those positions and understand, hey, if we have 50, 60, 70, 80 plays, we got to be able to lock in and focus and execute every one of those. And just the importance of every play, because you never know which play can have a huge impact on the football game. So you try to prepare yourself to play your best for all of them.
Perfect. Thanks.
All right, that's all for today. Thanks, Byron.
All right, guys. Thank you.